Heath Reads a Book.
Welcome back! We're reading the book 100 Things You're Not Supposed to Know by Russ Kick, and this is episode 2. One of the popes wrote an erotic book. An erotic book. An erotic? Erotic. We're gonna go with that. Okay. So, one of the popes wrote an erotic book. Before he was Pope Pius II, Aeneas Silvius Piccolomini, the Pope Pius II was a poet, a scholar, diplomat, and rakehill? I don't know what that is. And an author. In fact, he wrote a bestseller. People in the 15th century Europe couldn't get enough of his Latin novella Historia de Duobus Amatibus. An article in a scholarly publication on literature claims that Historia was undoubtedly one of the most read stories of the whole Renaissance. The Oxford edition gives a Cliff Notes version of the storyline. The goodly history tells of the illicit love of Euryalus, a high official in the retinue of the German Emperor Sigismund, and Lucrece, a married lady from Siena. It was probably written in 1444, but the earliest known printing is from Antwerp in 1488. Only 500 years before I was born. By the turn of the century, 37 editions had been published. Somewhere around 1553, the short book appeared in English under the wonderfully old-school title, The Goodly History of Mosty Noble and Beautiful Lady Lucrece of Scene in Tuscany, and of her Luer Euryalus very pleasant and delectable VNTO ye redder. Oh my god. Old English. Despite the obvious historical interest in this archaic Vatican porn, it has never been translated into contemporary language. The passages quoted below mark the first time that any of the book has appeared in modern English. The 1400s being what they were, the action is pretty tame by today's standards. At one point, Euryalus scales a wall to be with Lucrece. I apologize for butchering these names. I know I am. When she saw her lover, she clasped him in her arms. There was embracing and kissing, and with full sail they followed their lusts in wearied Venus. Now with Ceres, and now with Bacchus she was refreshed. Loosely translated, that last part means that they shagged, then ate, then drank wine. His Holiness describes the next time they hook up. Thus talking to each other, they went into the bedroom, where they had such a night as we judged the two lovers Paris and Helen had after he had taken her away, and it was so pleasant that they thought Mars and Venus had never known such pleasure. Her mouth, and now her eyes, and now her cheeks he kissed. Pulling down her clothes, he saw such beauty as he had never seen before. I have found more, I believe, said Euryalus, than Actaeon saw of Diana when she battled in the fountain. What is more pleasant or more fair than these limbs? Oh, fair neck and pleasant breasts. Is it you that I touch? Is it you that I have? Are you in my hands? Oh, round limbs, oh, sweet body. Do I have you in my arms? Oh, pleasant kisses, oh, dear embraces, oh, sweet bites. No man alive is happier than I am, or more blessed. He strained as she strained, and when they were done, they weren't weary. Like Athens, who rose from the ground stronger. Soon after the battle, they were more desirous of him. Wow. But Euryalus isn't just a horn dog. He waxes philosophical about the love of Lucrece's cousin-in-law. You know that man is prone to love. Whether it is virtue or vice, it reigns everywhere. No heart of the flesh has sometime felt the pricks of love. You know that neither the wise Solomon nor the strong Samson has escaped from this passion. Furthermore, the nature of a kindled heart and a foolish love is this, The more it is allowed, the more it burns, with nothing sooner healing this than the obtaining of the loved. There have been many, both in our time and that of our elders, whose foolish love has been the cause of cruel death, and many who, after sex and love vouchsafed, have stopped burning. Nothing is better when love has crept into your bones than to give into the burning. For those who strive against the tempest often wrecked, while those who drive with the storm escape. Besides sex and wisdom, the story also contains a lot of humor, as when Lucre's husband borrows a horse from Eurelius, he says to himself, "If you leap upon my horse, I shall do the same to your wife." Popes just don't write books like that anymore. And that's chapter 2, or the second thing of 100 things you're not supposed to know. So, yeah. What do I get out of this? Man, Pope was dirty. But that's okay, because apparently Warren G. Harding was too. Check out this clip on Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, where he reads aloud some of the things Warren G. Harding wrote. If you don't know who that is, it was one of the presidents who had a very short career as president. Yeah. So basically, in this one, we find it's just a love story. I mean, he's a romantic. I don't know. I just think it's interesting, especially considering that the Catholic Church used to have brothels. This was definitely a thing back in the day. So I wonder how that correlated time-wise. Was this close to the time when they had brothels, when they had sex scenes? I don't know. I'll have to look it up later. But if you do, or if you know, or if you have more perspective, please post a video response below. I would love to hear your perspective on it. I'm so sorry that I am not as articulate. I will get there. Hopefully by the end of this book, I will be much more interesting to listen to. And we can move forward. But anyway, talk about it in the comments. Let me know what you think. I'm really curious about this. I'm really curious what this means to you. Does it mean anything? Does it change the way you look at the church? Is it, do you even care? Or do you just know that some guy existed that was a pope and wrote smut? Or, like, who knows? Let me know. Anyway, thanks. I'll be back with chapter 3, which is the CIA commits over 100,000 serious crimes each year.